Hello, and welcome to ShrubSMP Season 7. This is Episode 26. On today's episode, we are going to be quite literally hopping right back into the action. We're going to hop right back in here to the end portal, because last episode we defeated the Ender Dragon and actually, technically, beat the game of Minecraft and saw that end poem and end credits at the end of the episode. But that's only half the story here in Minecraft, because once you beat the game, there's still a game at the end of the game, literally in the end dimension, which is where we're going to be hopping into right now, like I said, and see all of the exciting things that it has for us. And that is because, as we're going to see this episode, Nullscape is a data pack that I have on this server that makes the end much more interesting and much more dramatic than it usually is in the vanilla world. And we're going to just go ahead, hop right in, and start to figure out what we're going to do today. We need to go explore all of these Nullscape biomes and find ourselves an end city, because what we're looking for at the end city is a couple things. We're looking for the shulker monsters, that we can get their shulker shells so we can make boxes for all of the building that we're going to be doing at the Dark Castle, as well as the Elytra, which is really what we're looking for there. And those are our wings that are going to enable us to fly around the server and make building at the Dark Castle at height much more easier, but also be able to fly around the server and see what all the other players that had built things on lands distant, so it's easier to travel around and see from the sky. All that and more, we're going to get started right now and just hop right into the action. And as we can see, we pop right back out here at the end island. And off in the background behind us, we can already see that one of the other players I know has been here and has accessed the portal, which is the first thing that we are going to need to do to explore. Now, as I said, Nullscape did make some changes to the initial end island here. Now that we have this island conquered, the first thing we have to do is get up there and access that portal so that we can start to head out to other islands and other biomes in the end dimension. So I've climbed up this little tower that they made, the player here that was before us, to get to this portal, and as we can see, there's no trapdoor here. So I did they must have had a ender pearl with them, which is one of the two ways that you can get into this portal, is to throw an ender pearl and teleport yourself in there. I actually thought, because there would be endermen here, that I would be able to do that. But, of course, this second way to do it is to use a trapdoor. If you have a trapdoor flipped up and then flip it down, it makes you look like this. It's kind of like you're simulating swimming, and that's how we can crawl into a 1x1 space, but that also means that I can pop myself right into this portal. So let's see where it leads. And as you can see, we get the Remote Getaway advancement, and let's see what that says. That says escape the island, which is what we just did by using that portal. Now, we are out in a remote island. It's probably one of the ones nearby, outside the perimeter of the main island, and once we're here, we have to kind of figure out how to use all these blocks that we bought. We said part of the major supplies that we packed with us in our ender chest and all here in my inventory is all kind of different random building blocks, because the only way without your Elytra to get between islands is to basically follow the terrain, and you can actually build a bridge over the scary void out there, which is, I'm sure, one of the things we'll need to do. Now, K-Pop did actually tell me, who's the other player who went in this direction, says, well, they found a city in that direction, so I'll probably go in a different direction just to kind of get the full experience for what it's like to kind of get here the first time and search for one of these cities. So I'm going to be, like I said, headed off in that direction. We'll see what we come up with first, and then check in as we find our first milestone. Alright, well, I haven't gotten too far, just past that first bridging that I just did, and we can see a chorus fruit forest out there in the distance. Oh, and I see a custom biome as well when I was just heading in this direction, so we're going to be able to check about both those things now. But first, the chorus fruit is what caught my attention. Saw that custom biome second, so we're going to go up there and talk about the chorus fruit, and then move on and check out this biome. Alright, now that we're down here amongst the trees, we can kind of talk about the features of them. There's two things that you can do with them. Well, a couple things you can do. For one, we're going to chop one down and show the materials without falling over the edge. We can see we got a new advancement for some recipes Their chorus fruits themselves are all of these purple stacks, and they'll drop down. You can collect them, you can craft them into blocks, but one of the special features is right at the top. There's a chorus flower up there that we can actually use to grow our own. So we're going to shoot one off with a bow and arrow. You can also knock them off with a silk touch tool, but there's where it looks like. You can see how it has this white heart of the block. It's called the chorus flower, and if you plant a chorus flower on endstone, which is what the end is made out of, it will procedurally grow randomly up into these trees and then eventually stop at the top where the bud will be, and then we could always get more of those flowers. So that's kind of how to generate them, how to use them. We'll take this one home with us. We'll put that in our end box, or at least our inventory, but we'll be able to continue to move on. And that's really just a quick feature. The first thing we found is a chorus flower, and of course the chorus fruit. One last thing about the chorus fruit is you can eat it, and then be teleported randomly to a spot nearby. So let's eat this chorus flower. Chorus fruit, that is, and you can see we teleported just like as if we were an Enderman. But now let's find that custom biome and head off in its direction. I think it was, let's get up to higher ground and see where it is. Alright, so as I've gotten closer, I've kind of noticed that we can see here there really isn't much to other than just some blocks, and what I've done is I've kind of turned on, you can see in the top left corner, I've turned on my mini HUD just so that I can, it's just basically some of the same information that's there on the F3 screen, except I want to be able to see my coordinates in the direction that I'm heading, as well as see the biome name. Now, the End Highlands is where I started, and actually it's the regular island, so really it looks like just these are the blocks that are included. I haven't seen the biome change, so it's not an official whole new biome, it's just some mixed terrain with some of the newer blocks. We'll keep adventuring here and look for a change of biome, a city, or the next thing we come across. Alright, now one of the other things that Nullscape does is actually increase the height of where things generate. As we can see, I've come across my first, up in the air island, which this does not happen in regular Minecraft, but this is just a giant island. We can even see just outside our render distance, there's another one way up in the sky. I don't plan on going up there unless I have my Elytra to fly up there, so in the meantime, we're stuck here on the ground and we'll bridge across to the other side. But just wanted to point that out, that we've come across another Nullscape feature that increased height generation. Well, this certainly caught my eye as I was making my way out here, and it looks like there are tons and tons of glowstone pillars, or maybe they're hanging down from a higher level. Let's get a little closer. Oh my goodness, wow, talk about if you ever need a glowstone supply, this is the place to come. Wow, these look like they're just hanging down from these higher levels. Let's see if it's an actual biome name or it's just that generation again. Bill says we're in the End Highlands, but oh my goodness, talk about, this is a gold mine. If you need, woo, look at this. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, wow, wow, wow. All right, well, no new, just new blocks, not a new biome, but we're gonna have to, it looks like we're at the edge of this one as well. We're gonna have to, oh, wait, no. There's a city. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I was about to say, it looks like we have to bridge our way over to that island across, but if the city is over there, we may have to find our way up, which is something we're not used to doing in the end in Minecraft, but we'll have to kind of get up there and maybe get up on top of these glowstone pillars to that island and see if we can make our way across to this city. All right, that's exciting. Hopefully, we'll see what that city has, but if it has just shulkers or if it even has the boat that will allow us to get our first Elytra. I'm getting a little more excited now, and we'll get up there. We'll have to see what we find. Alright, so I've climbed and towered my way. Looks like I'm about on the same level. I just have to go across. And before I reveal the rest of the city, I just passed something that was utterly terrifying. This was kind of just a hole that was part of the generation. But if you look down, there's nothing but void down there. If I had fallen down in this hole, just walked right across it and fallen down and not noticed it, I would have been gone to the void. All my materials would have been lost. I would have been lost. It would have been a bad time. You never want to fall in the void in Minecraft in the end, because that is a bad day. But now as we're getting into range of the city, we can see, I'm not sure if it's a city that has the ship, that has our Elytra, but at the very least, we'll be able to raid it first and talk about the shulkers and get ourselves our first shulker shells. Alright, we're definitely closer now, and I'm telling you, bridging has got to be the most terrifying thing over the void. Any misstep, if I let go of the shift button, anything I sneeze, it's all over. And that's why we desperately want to get our Elytra, so that we can at least have a chance to save ourselves and fly away if we can have one of those missteps. But in the meantime, I think we're right about underneath the city. Let's see if we get up. Perfect. I have some of these blocks right there. All right, now that we found the bottom, we can definitely confirm there's no ship around here, but those little monsters are shulkers, and we're going to have to battle those first. Did I bring a shield? I did. All right, so we're going to eat up and then head over there and relieve these guys of the shells that make up the boxes that they're in. And then from there, you know what I didn't do is I did not bring with me. We'll talk about that advancement in a second, but I did not bring something that you should bring, and I'll have to remember next time, is wood, so that you can make boxes, or at least just a whole bunch of boxes, regular chests, that is, so that you can take these shulker shells, these items, and 2 of them with a regular chest can make a shulker box. And that's really one of the things that really helps when you're doing big builds in Minecraft, is to have a bunch of shulker boxes. But alas, I didn't bring any of that stuff. That's okay. They stack to 64, so I'll be able to collect them as I go throughout. And as you can see, there's a central tower here. There's one sitting up top there waiting for me to catch up to them. You can shoot bow and arrow at them when they're open, but when they're closed... Oh, wait, that time it was open. You can see I damaged them. But when they're closed, let's see if I can... Oh, it shoots back. It bounces off. It's almost like a shield for your bow and arrow, and that can also cause you a bad time. But this is basically one of the 2 major things that you want to do when you're in an end city, is to collect and relieve these guys of their shulker shells. There's some other treasures in these cities as well, but of course, our next stop is going to be definitely to find another city with the boat so that we can get that darn elytra that we've been talking about so much. And of course, double checking that advancement, it is called the city at the end of the game, which is exactly what it is. It's a city, and it's at the end of the game. Going in, what could happen? Well, we could get shot up by these shulkers, and as a matter of fact, one of the other dangers that lie here is if a shulker hits you with one of those bullets, the bullet makes you levitate up into the air. And if you levitate too far, you're falling down. And if you fall down, you could fall into the void, or you can fall too far to your demise from fall damage. But I think what I'm actually going to do is just leave the rest of these guys in here for the time being and move on, because I really just want to see if I can find any elytra during this episode. But there it is, my first city, my first shulker shell. We only have one, and I guess since I'm standing right here, end rods are also something you can collect. End rods are a fantastic light source and really cool to build with. So along the way, this is also a great spot to collect new items like these end rods. All right, well, I've discovered some bad news, but it's leading to good news, and I'll show that in just a second. As you can see, there's the city we were just at. I had to bridge over and across, and because we're up so high, actually, and there's no Enderman around, I never thought I'd actually miss the Enderman, but I'd need to relieve them of their Ender Pearls to be able to teleport down to, like, lower levels, and we can't fall at this distance anyway, not with that. Having to get down was going to be hard. I'd have to go way backwards, and look, there's still plenty of ways to go up. And I don't necessarily want to go up, but I started to see the outline of what looks like the ship. That is definitely a ship. We just got to get closer. Oh my god, I almost fell down. My heart just sank into my chest as I fell into this block. I thought I was on my way down after talking about how scared I was. Anyway, that's the ship. So if we can find our way up there, very ironically enough, we're going to go just about as high as I think the end is. And we'll see what the actual Y level is when we get up there. But wow, if we can get that elytra, then we'll be able to use the rockets that we have in our inventory, or at least in our ender chest, and then be able to fly all around here, and we'll have no worry about getting way down to that bottom level. Because I don't know how the heck I would get down there from way up here. Alright, we're really close now. It's just behind me there, but just, again, take a look back. We had to pillar way up from the bottom where we just were, just to get up on this level. But here we go. So now it's time to just be careful and make sure that we don't get attacked by any shulkers. But here's the next city, and the city with the characteristic boat. And the boat is what we're after, because we want to get in there where we know the elytra is just waiting for us. So what I like to do, since we're this close and we've come all this way, is do this the safe way. And we're going to actually pillar up. Of course, it's going to be right near a ledge. Yeah, that'll be scary. We're going to pillar up right alongside underneath the boat and then sneak in from the bottom. Most, the way the game's designed, you can see there's a portal over there. You're supposed to climb the tower up and then bridge across. But to do that, we're going to have to defeat all the shulkers in that city. We've been chasing this thing long enough. I just want to get in there, get those Elytra, and get out. And then maybe we'll do some end raiding to finish up this episode to collect some of those materials. But first things first, we got to get that Elytra. All right, I just banged my head, so that must mean we're right near the bottom. But we can go ahead and break a couple blocks and then sneak our way up in there. And once we're in there, we're safe. There is going to be a shulker in here, if I remember right. Yep, there he is, and he's shooting a bullet at me. Let's get the levitation effect just to kind of show how that is before I send him to his demise. There we go. So now I'm floating in the air, as you can see. That's the levitation effect. But we're going to relieve him of his life and his shell, hopefully. Oh, stingy. He didn't leave me a shell. But there it is. There's the Elytra that we've been waiting for. And as we pick it up, we get the advancement. The sky's the limit. Find Elytra. We found the Elytra. It's now in our inventory, and we'll stick it on our back and show you how it works in just a few moments. Oh, look, I got the fancy Twitch one on my back. And also in these ships, there's always some loot to take, so we'll want to gather some of these things. Nice swords. And it's actually usually, oh, and a bunch of gold. It's usually a bunch of diamond gear that is, you know, thoroughly enchanted. Sharpness 5, smite 3, pretty nice. These iron... Oh, no! Curse of Binding, Curse of Vanishing. We don't even want to touch those because they'll get stuck to our body forever. But we'll go ahead and collect some of these riches. We'll put away some of the junk we don't need now that we have the Elytra and we know we're going to be able to fly. And the other thing that's in these ships is just over here is a brewing stand. And there's this shulker outside. You can't get me from out there, buddy. And there are 2 instant health 2 potions in here. I've never actually used an instant health potion and made a good use out of it. I think any time that I've had one in my inventory, I've always died first before I might have needed it. But anyway, with all that said, it's time to break out my ender chest. And in my ender chest, I know we are fully prepared. We have rockets, and we'll go ahead and throw 2 rockets into our inventory. We'll put away some of the more valuable items. We got plenty of other junk in here that we know we don't need. But like I said, we now have everything we came for, and we are going to get ready to get out of here. One last thing, actually. As soon as I said that, we're going to have to go outside to collect it. Make sure we have our Elytra on, just in case we get knocked up in the air, which I think is going to happen. Oh, no, we were able to fight them off, but I think the other one's shooting bullets now. At the front of the boat is a dragon head replica, and they're always fun to make sure you have at least one to take with you. And I've been hit. So now that I've been hit, we can demonstrate what happens when you have your Elytra, and we're going to start flying as soon as we fall. Now we're over the top, and we're falling, but I'm now coasting with my new wings, and look at that. Perfect. And then I can use my rockets to go fly back up there. And we're going to have to find the guy that did it to us. There he is right there at the back that we saw through the window a moment ago. We'll relieve him of his shell. Give me a shell. Stingy guy. Wow, look at that. I only have 1 shell so far, don't I? Yeah, well, so much for making a box. Well, did we get the dragon head? No, we have to collect that, and that might be where we wind up leaving off for this episode, because we have definitely got one of everything that we came for, including 1 shulker shell. Like I said, I wish we had some more, but let's throw away some of the junk, make sure that we don't lose this head, pick it up while crouching, pick it forward, and now we have it. Yes. We have won. We've won everything that we were looking for today. We got several of the advancements we were looking for, we got all the items we were looking for, and most importantly, we got these Elytra that we desperately have been wanting for a while now. Last little thing, it's kind of a fun thing, we'll put the dragon head on our head, and you can see it is a huge model, and actually it kind of looks kind of funny. But anyway, that's about where we're going to wrap things up for today. This was definitely a little bit of a weird one. I just wanted to get in here, get all the things done, and sometimes it can take a little while, like we saw with this generation, to be able to fly way up into the air, and then to be able to navigate the terrain to find this boat and my Elytra. But now that we have them, we'll be able to fly around and get around much easier, as you can see right here. But in the meantime, I think that's about where we're going to leave it off for today. I want to thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.